guys, it's K-Pow.
It's Young Goku.
And this is
Kanpai Hour.
Clink. And then do it when we're taking it. So we're not just
Cool. Alright.
Alright. So what are we talking about?
So so today we're talking about Final Fantasy 15 again. But But this time we're talking about this one guy who wrote a review because he got an early copy of the game, but it was a spoiler-free review and it was quite in depth.
Do you know his name?
I'll put it in the description.
We'll put it in the description.
And there's gonna be a link too because it's super spoilery, and he wrote like a book.
Yeah, it took me a good while to read it. But I really did appreciate that he went in detail a lot.
Right.
A lot of detail.
Yeah.
So I guess we're just going to comment on what he said. And then we're probably going to do a review later on with replies about what he said. He did have some criticisms on the game in which he wished that things were done differently. But he did applaud things that were done correctly as well.
Yeah, and from what I remember, he did them in sections. So the initial section was the world, then the combat, like gameplay, then set pieces, and we'll explain that later, I guess. You'll get it. And characters and story? Characters
and development, and then progression of story. And then the last one was...
I think it was like this to believe or not to believe. So it was like his verdict.
Yeah, but he also mentioned magic very briefly in the combat system, which I think we should do a separate part on.
Okay. Oh, well, that fits in the combat. Oh, whatever. Yeah.
I like magic.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I guess we'll talk about the world first, what he was saying about it. From what I got from it, he was saying what we were hoping the world would be like, where he was talking.
He criticized it at first. At first, he did say it was really bland. I mean, I don't blame him. The beginning of the world is pretty much what we've gotten in every single demo so far. Right. It's that barren desert. You know, you meet Sydney and you meet Sid. There's not a lot to do around there.
Right.
Nothing really to see. Everything looks the same. It's all rocks and boulders.
Yeah.
There's some roads and maybe a couple houses.
I like them rocks and I love them boulders. All right. There was like a falling power line too.
Whoa.
Yeah. Really wanted to
Sorry, I forgot to mention the power. Anyway, so I totally get where he's coming from. Right. But yeah, he did. That was really the only criticism that he gave.
Right.
Other than the lackluster of fantasy. He felt like a lot of them felt more normal. Whereas in past Final Fantasies, they were more fantasy-like.
Though he said, from what I remember, he said that as it went on, it seemed like as each chapter went on, it got more fantasy, like it got you more back into what you were remembering. So, I like that. You know what I mean? I like you start off in a realistic setting and then it sort of starts to blow up on you. We're Final Fantasy now, all right?
Yeah.
So
and the monsters do help with that too. So.
He talked really highly of the monsters and like the sense of nostalgia that he felt, which I'm excited just from the few monsters I've seen, like that one snake one with the human head. You know, like that. I remember playing that.
And the giants. I'm excited.
Yeah. Beat
the shit out of them.
I already beat one in the demo. It was pretty cool, and then I got my ass kicked by the other one. So yeah, it seemed like with the world he was very like relatively glowing about it. I will say one thing he did say. He felt like they were lacking one more area. And it particularly said a snowy area. He wanted a winter wonderland, which I could totally understand.
I guess, but at the same time, like, you can't really go from, like, a desert, barren place to a winter wonderland unless you're, like, traveling extremely far.
Well, this world is pretty big, so, got a lot of distance.
I don't think it's big enough that you cross, like, multiple left.
Maybe on top of a mountain or something. I don't know. Yeah, I would like a Winter Wonderland area, but I'm not.
I don't think that it's really Final Fantasy 15. Final Fantasy 15 feels more technologically advanced. So it's more. It's destroyed, in a sense. Like,
and
there's only one crystal left, and that's, there's a bunch of, like, armored, like, there's soldiers that attack you and everything, and it seems like pretty much where the world is so technologically advanced that a lot of, the deposits of resources are gone.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, and I'm not mad at it either. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you mention it, it's like, okay, all right. I would like that, but I mean, hey, I'm sure it's going to be fine.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to turn my
Get it out of here.
Okay, I'm putting it in the stuff. I'm putting it in the stuffed body.
She cosplays.
This is actually not mine.
Oh.
This is my roommate.
Yeah, well. So,
Pornhub.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it on the world. The last thing I will say though was he did mention the sense of like just wonder. You know what I'm saying? From like just, hey, I'm just gonna walk over here and look at this thing just because to look at it, and it seemed like he was always very pleased with what he was saying. So,
and that's what he did mention was like he's not really a huge open world player like Witcher and Fallout and stuff like that. Which, I mean, I love those games, but I found myself recently getting tired of being like, do whatever you want.
Right.
But, I mean, it does have that, he talked about how, like, 2/3 of the way in, it does narrow it down a little bit.
We'll get to that with the progression part. I gotta beep that. There's gonna be like a beep for a while.
Beep, 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 beep. Cocksucker pussy.
Yeah, right?
Beep all.
Yeah. Yeah, right. So yeah, next part was the battling.
Yep, combat system.
Okay.
So he did mention about upgrading your weapons, magic, and then also how you're able to have a gun and act like a coward, like Prompto.
Yeah.
Which he's insulting my future husband.
Hey,
so I'm kind of upset.
It was delightful. I get it. All right.
Yeah, no, I do too. Which I'm excited. Like you can actually use the weapons that your characters. You're not only limited to your class weapons as a lot of Final Fantasies and other RPGs are. Yeah. So I actually didn't play with the gun in the demo. Like I know you could equip it. I just never got to that point. Yeah. I was too busy using once I got the dual blades, I was like, why would I not want to be like Naruto? Like, I will be the next Hokage. Warp styling and stuff.
No, that's real.
I'm excited.
I played with a little bit with the gun. They basically just give you a little pea shooter. And it was, it's fine.
But you can upgrade it later.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing a screenshot of, I think he had like a sniper. You know what I'm saying? It might have been from IGN or it might have been from Game.
That seems super OP.
Yeah, I mean, because that's when they had first announced that he could use guns. And I saw that it was like he was just like this and everything. And I was like,
Final Fantasy cross Call of
Duty? Yeah, I was like,
cross Sniper Ghost Warrior.
Seriously, I didn't know how I felt about that, but but it's cool that they give you all those options. And I know that you can, of course, you can equip them to Prompto, let them handle this.
Yeah, but at the same time, it also opens up Final Fantasy to people who like shooters, which is interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
And I know that I loved using like Carter, and then I think it was 9 in Final Fantasy Type 0 because you could use guns, and it was really fluid and it was really fun. I'm sure it's going to be a lot different in this game.
Of course, yeah.
But it's definitely something that's interesting to see.
Yeah, good little addition. Of course, we all know about just like the warp strike and stuff, and he was pretty glowing about it, talking about how with the Ascension grid, how you just basically get more skills and whatnot, and how just he dubbed himself the Skywalker, which I appreciated. I mean, whatever. All right, Skywalker, get it. He's floating around and stuff. Yeah. So, but he really talked about how essentially cool that was and how exciting it was.
And then he unlocked the aerial abilities through that grid later on.
Exactly. Yeah. And he made a real good point to talk about how just a couple sentences really just how he really fucked with just the aerial battles, how exhilarating they were. So I mean,
Yeah. That and the magic.
Yeah, magic. So, yeah, you want to talk about that verse?
Sure. Pretty much he said that the magic was, it didn't flow as well as everything else did, which I could definitely see that playing, Judgment Disc and everything like that. But at the same time, magic is really hard so far in the demo. I'm sure it gets easier later on.
Yeah.
It's hard to come by these magical, resources to use magic in the first place. I never used magic that much in the demo. Like I said, I was too busy, Narutoing it up. Gonna become number one ninja. But, I mean, he did also mention how it was, same thing like Lackluster, but at the same time, he was able to find a way to exploit the system, but he didn't really mention how. But I can definitely see how you can combine and use all the different magics and mix them with potions and items and stuff, how that can get kind of OP really fast.
Definitely.
So I'm probably just going to stay away from the magic, at least my first round. I'm definitely going to be playing multiple times, so I might do a magic run and then, a weapon-based run, and then a gun-based run, and just play it until my eyes bleed, and then just cry when I can't play it anymore because I played it 75 times.
I did it all the ways, every way.
Every way.
Yeah.
Girl plays Final Fantasy all the way.
Yeah. So, I mean, I understood his qualms with the magic system just through playing through the demo. It isn't as seamless as it maybe could have been, but I'm not too mad at it because of the destructive capabilities of the magic and the friendly fire that can happen with your magic. So
plus you have to summon magic in a way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like this thing. He's just bang!
And it's not like he's a mage. He actually collects them and puts them in this little orb thing.
Like a vial or something.
Yeah, and then throws it. So, I mean, I can kind of understand, why it's not that fluid,
It sort of takes me back to when they first started really making progress with this game, and there was some gameplay with they were finding a behemoth, and it was Noctis just used fire on him, and it just
obliterated
lit him ablaze. But yeah, right.
Put down the
right.
We need a meme of Noctis throwing down Noctis's face posted over and just obliterate.
Right. Yeah, but that with that where they had it that way, there was no friendly fire. It was just when he cast it, it was just solely on the behemoth. But I mean, it was fucking awesome. You know what I mean? But so I feel like that's that is a bit of a bummer that it's not as seamless. But I'm also not mad at it because it's very realistic. Yeah. That fantasy set in reality. When you're casting Blizzard, it's just
it's kind of overpowering.
Yeah, every time I cast Blizzard, my homies were all around. You know what I'm saying? And they're just fuck.
Yeah, or they catch on fire. Fire up.
Always. The one that really was least affecting my crew was Thunder. But I mean, it seems like it also is the most condensed, and I see that being an issue. I mean, I see it having its drawback, I guess, which is good.
With a bunch of enemies and
really just with the metal when you're in dungeon areas that are metal heavy, because I did see that in one of the just a clip or two of it when some other gameplay they showed, but that the Thunder the Thunder zip zaps around and shit, so that could be, but it's cool. I like that because it's
realistic, but it's not
how strong the magic is. It's good to have that drawback.
It'd be kind of cool if it automatically killed you, you electrocuted yourself in a way. But I could see that not being
so
a big hit with the fan.
Right, definitely. So that actually takes us into our set pieces, and and I'll bring in a positive with the magic through the set pieces. You want me to begin or do you want to begin? I'll begin.
You're on a roll.
Yeah, man, I'm killing the game right now. Yeah. Oh, always slightly tilted there. Call me, what's this girl from Kill la Kill? The Kill la Kill girl? She's cool. She's always it's great. It's so great. Anyways, so with the set pieces, what he talked about these and he was pretty glowing about them. for people who don't really realize what I mean by set pieces, he's talking about like the moments where stuff is going on and you actually have control on it. You know what I'm saying?
But it's more like it's more like the quick time action stuff, like in Uncharted and God of War, but not to the sense where you press triangle, you miss getting hit by a thing.
Right.
It's more like this is part of the story that you can't avoid, but you're involved in like the type of cutscene, but it's part of the gameplay at the same time. But you can still die if you don't do it right.
Exactly.
But it's not as simple as just pressing triangle at the right moment, like Until Dawn.
Yeah, he said in his review, and I totally knew I felt him when he was saying this. Think Final Fantasy VIII. You know that you got Balam Garden facing off against Galaban. I can't remember the other garden, but you got everybody warring in the background.
Oh, indeed, yeah.
Yeah, and you're up there on that jetpack with that one dude just punching them, and all sorts of stuff is going on crazy in the background. And then even just with this game, Titan just sweeping his hand across, and you're just like, good.
Yeah.
You know.
Or even like I'm sure later on, like in what we've all seen, like Ifrit.
Yeah, Ifrit.
Like I'm sure in Ifrit's battle, which we'll be able to hit later on, there's going to be a lot of those type of scenes, which I wouldn't hate. That would be kind of cool, but at the same time, like I'm wondering if they're going to put too much of those scenes where I don't feel like I'm actually fighting it, but I also feel like it's necessary where you know, it feels more in the moment. So I'm interested to see how it happens. Definitely. I just hope they don't do it too much to where it's like, I gotta do one of these scenes again. Yeah. And like, I just wish I could just fucking kill this thing.
Yeah, one of the key things for me too is how they do that Leviathan battle.
I haven't seen anything.
Well, I mean, you remember from the 13 when they first rebranded it to 15.
Yeah.
And they had just like Leviathan was in the city, and then like it's like all the crazy shit.
But it didn't show any fighting. It was just like a cinematic.
They showed some fighting, but not. I mean, it was like he's teleporting around these buildings that are floating, and like all sorts of it's that seemed like a very pivotal time to like utilize these set pieces properly.
But not to the point where you can hang there for so long.
Yeah.
And you're looking around like, where should I press?
Exactly. It seemed like it was move. Yeah. Hey, bro, if you stick, okay, well, you're dead. Sorry about it. Game over.
But I don't want the whole fight. I've seen instances where it's done really well, and then I've seen instances where it seems lazy. Like they don't want to let you get the chance to fight them and use your skill. Yeah. You just have to hit these right buttons at the right time, and then you win. Don't hate on Kingdom Hearts.
Love it,
don't hate.
Come on, man.
But Xemnas' battle was very much like that. Just keep hitting triangle. Or I forgot. I'm pretty sure it was triangle.
Triangle and X
at the same time to fight off. But I don't want it to be lazy. I want to be able to kick these like Astral's ass, and I want it to be me. Don't want it to be a button combination.
That's real.
But like I said, it's been done really well, and then it's been done really lazily. So I'm hoping it's done well the way he says it. It won't be overdone, because he did say a couple things were overdone, and this was not one of them. So.
Yeah, I think he actually said that he wished there was a couple more, but I could be wrong about that.
He said cutscenes.
Okay, it was cutscenes. Yeah. Okay, and with their this Luminous engine turning up how it is, it seemed like they very very hopeful about things, very very hopeful. So the next part was you remember this better. I think
he said set piece, and then the next one was characters.
Characters? Okay, cool.
So the characters, he talked a lot about Luna, which I mentioned previously. I hope that Luna isn't one of those like faceless characters, in a sense of where she's very two-dimensional. She has one personality. We saw a lot of this, in my opinion, in Lightning. We saw it in Sarah. We saw it in Vanille in 13, and so on and so forth. A lot of the love interests or heroines in Final Fantasy and many, many other games, they're just kind of there because they're, essential to the plot. They're the love interest. You gotta go save them. They're usually helpless. Peach.
How you keep getting caught?
Oh,
Peach.
wait, she has an umbrella and she can use her emotions to fight. Yeah, thank you, Nintendo. That's what we needed. Anyway, I really hope that Luna is she doesn't have to be independent. I hope she's a strong character. and not strong in a personality sense, but in a combat sense.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want her just to be an oracle and a healer.
Mhm.
I want her to be able to defend herself, and I don't want her to have to rely on a knight in shining armor or prince in a black car to save her, especially when it's Noctis, because it looks like she has her shit together way more than Noctis does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he says we don't get a lot of history about Luna.
Right.
And I'm kind of
a little bummed,
yeah,
but
it's not the focus,
exactly.
so I understand.
Yeah,
but at the same time, it's a very important part to the story, and I feel like if anybody deserves more history, it's more so her rather than the Brotherhood, because from what we've seen through the Omen trailers, trailers since 13 Versus 13, whatever the fuck
Versus 13,
whatever.
Yeah.
Luna and Noctis are the main roles, at least 2 of the main roles in the storyline. We get Noctis' story firsthand. Why can't we get some of Luna's background? But the game hasn't come out. That's just what he said, is we don't get a lot. So I'm hoping that we can review it after and maybe get some DLC, get a background.
That's super fair. Yeah, another thing that he talked about, of course, was the Brotherhood, which is one of the, Tabata said the key. I mean,
which I'm not hating.
Yeah, exactly.
I do love all 3 of the bros.
Yep.
The bro hoes.
Yeah, no, he talked about them pretty thoroughly, and really even connecting to your Luna point was how he was saying the way that they started the game off with you already just knowing. You're
like their personality.
You're best friends. Y'all been best friends. Y'all got history. All right. He said that this could have been executed very poorly, which I think a lot of people are scared about, especially the supreme haters out there. But he said this guy said that it was done very well, but because Noctis is the focus and the Brotherhood is the focus, it just had to take away from the time we had with Luna. So it's like it was just sort of one of those. Well, hey, that's just one of the things that we had to do.
But you could have had like flashbacks.
And exactly, like one of the things I feel is that a lot of Final Fantasies have done those sections where your squad gets separated or whatever, and you're spending time with some of the side. 9 was really good with this.
Yeah, where you got separated all the time. But you got every single character's background story.
Definitely.
But that was also a different era where we played for hundreds of hours. And this game is set about 120 with side quests and main.
Right. So I'm not too mad at it. I'm really excited to experience it. And he also referenced how, thinking most Final Fantasies, most of them, you really got your 2-3 characters that are really important that you like, man, I fuck with them.
Or they just are so OP that you're like, I can't not have you on my party or I will die. And whether I like it or not, you're staying with me.
And the game, and the rest of the characters being sort of afterthoughts. In the game, I really look at this as a big flaw was Final Fantasy VIII, and that's one of my favorite ones. That, a lot of people don't fuck with it. I really do fuck with that game, but right, yeah, right. But that was a supreme issue. You know what I mean? You got Squall, definitely, Renoa, and
Renoa didn't really have that much of a background.
Bruh, I mean, you don't even know she's a source.
Whatever.
All right, so the point
this is 15.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, so we'll do Final Fantasy discussions, other things later, right? But yeah, but it seems like that is not as big an issue in this game. It seemed to actually not be an issue at all. Where you even talked about side characters
coming and going.
Yeah, coming and adding that bit of flavor, But there was one character in particular that he was super, super glowing about, and that was Arden.
Yeah. For a second, I was like,
wait,
was Gladio's sister? Because she seems pretty cool.
Right?
But yeah, no, Arden.
And we knew that.
But at the same time, it's like, do we get to play as her?
Yeah, I mean,
please don't ruin it if we do.
Right. That would be interesting.
That would be weird because he's like a neutral evil kind of thing.
It seems
or like necessary evil.
Yeah.
But we don't even know if he's evil. Maybe we're evil and he's good.
I know.
And that's the great thing about 15 so far is we don't know.
Yeah. So I'm very intrigued. So Yeah, so that's the characters. The next part was the progression of the story, and I'll let you start with this.
Okay. So he pretty much said it was in 3 parts, which we are already knew. First 2 parts is kind of like introduction, and then shit goes down. Hence, Dad dies.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, dude, Dad dies.
Right.
Which, I mean, if you've been keeping up with it, like, you know, it's one of the most popular trailers. You know, Knuckles gets a phone call.
Oh, right.
You know, he goes see his right-hand man.
Yeah.
You know, it's a big scene where he realizes he has responsibility. Like, your time being a juvenile is over, bro. You need to save the world.
What?
Yeah.
But again, am I?
Yeah. So, I mean, after the second third, he does mention that the first 2/3, I mean, the open world to him was really great. Like I said previously, he's not a huge fan of the open world.
Right. I think I'm a fool. I'm make babies with this open world, bro.
I mean, I'm gonna like the open world, but I feel like I'll feel the same that he did.
Right.
He felt really bored and kind of like distracted.
Right.
By the first 2 parts, and I'm sure after the first third, things become more in focus. You know what you're gonna do. Whereas in the first third, you know, your father just sent you out on a mission. Or not even a mission. You're just kind of on a groping thing.
No, just go get married to Luna.
And you find out, you know, everything you knew was a lie.
Right.
Pretty much, it's just as simple as that. Don't worry, your world is crushing around you. Your father's dead. And then, you know, after that, like, things become more clear on what you need to do and how the story is going to progress. And then the third part, nobody who hasn't played the game really knows exactly how that's going to go.
Yeah.
We've seen some clips with Luna and everything, but we're still not sure what is going to come together and what the focus is. So he did say he got kind of bored. He's not much of a side quest person.
Right.
I love side quests. It's a great way to visit places. I love killing lots of things.
Yep, exactly.
So if I can kill everything, that would be great. And if I get Gil doing it, that's even better.
Yeah.
He did enjoy looking around with the chocobo and stuff like that, which he did mention.
I can't wait to do that.
Yeah, we all know. So, I mean, it just seems like the first 2 parts, like by the end of the second, third, I'm probably going to be like, I just want to know what's going on.
Right.
I want to know, you know, I'm thirsty to know what's going on with Noctis. I want to know what's up with Luna. I want to know what's going on between all these battles. I want to figure out what is Final Fantasy 15. And I feel like a lot of us are going to get to that point after being distracted in awe by the open world. We're going to get to a point to where we want the story. We want the meat of the story rather than everything else around it.
Right. And I see, so what I gathered, it was like just what K-Pow. Okay.
You're the
worst. Seriously. Yeah, well, K-Pow split up into sections. This is something that Tabata had already made clear to us, where he's...
Recently, though, too.
Pretty recently. Where
this guy did mention he didn't read anything.
Yeah, which is cool. So. Yeah, so how he said that, like, you know, there was that one part where he was like, yeah, so half the game is open world, another half is linear.
Well, not even.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, most of it
exactly. And so, and then he clarified later and said, like, yeah, most of it's open world, but there's a point where you just got to say, all right, guys, buckle up. It's time for that point of no return. We got to push the narrative along.
Which also sets the set pieces.
No,
definitely.
So
that leads the story in which things have to happen.
Exactly,
you know,
exactly.
It's the story.
And one thing that this guy really said, which I really hope, like, I appreciate, is that unlike a game like Witcher 3, where you can just do all the side quests if you feel like it, and maybe do the story or whatever. What you don't have the game sort of says, all right, Scoot, if you want to get to this other area, scoot it on. You gotta do this narrative point. You know what I'm saying? It's like he said this. It's a linear open world where you got a lot of things to do, but there's going to be a wall here, some gate closed that, you know what I'm saying, so that you have to get past to get to see more of the world or whatever. So I really appreciate that, because I love The Witcher 3. I think personally, hopefully this game changes that. That was the best RPG of the generation. Like I think there's really almost no discussion. Great narrative, all that stuff. But the issue I had was that there'd be numerous times where, as much as I love the story, I'd be doing side stuff and be like, oh, oh damn, I need to get back to the story.
That's how I felt about Skyrim too,
No,
and even Fallout. You know?
Definitely.
Like you play it and you be like, oh, all of these things. Kill all of the things.
Options.
Gather all of the things, and then you're like. And you have this long list of quests, and you're like, wait, which one was the main storyline?
No, definitely, yeah.
Maybe I'll just beat all of them so I can figure it out. And then more often than not, they lead to new.
Yes.
And you're just like, oh, there's so much.
It's all dripping out.
And just trying to catch it. And that's how I lost like 400 hours of Skyrim.
So that's
Rest in peace.
Yeah, so I'm happy that it's done that way. So I mean, you might just finish everything of this area per se, and it's like, all right, well, yeah, you got to move it along, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Final Fantasy will move you. I feel like the quest lines in it aren't going to be like Skyrim and Fallout, or even Witcher, where it's like. And it might, some of them, but I don't think a lot of them will like branch out to where they almost continue forever.
Right. No,
you're going to end up at the same point no matter how long you play. Whereas with these games, it's like never ending.
No,
you can stay in one
super
area
good
forever.
point. And also, to be honest, a lot of the best Final Fantasies have always been that way. 9 was that way. All the ones with those PlayStation ones with the open world have always been that way because they're all linear. They're linear open worlds. There's always a you know 9. You run off into the fog, and then there's a point where it's like. Well,
you gotta go back.
Yeah, well, there's nothing here. You can't go any further.
Yeah.
Soldier, swerve. You know what I'm saying? And so.
And he mentioned how 12 didn't do that correctly, and it just seemed that you get lost.
Yeah,
in between the quest lines.
This guy. You're right. Yeah, he did. Yeah. I agree with him so much. 12 could have been so much better. Yes. And the most important thing to me, anyways, has always been the narrative. Like Final Fantasy, it's a narrative. It's a crazy fantasy.
I mean, they're always known for not only the visuals and the characters and everything, but the narrative.
Yeah,
it always has a
crazy storytelling.
Almost.
I mean,
13. We're looking at you. Your disappointment. You were bad, and you should feel bad.
Yeah.
But.
So I mean I think that's pretty much it with the progression and everything. I think the
end was just the conclusion, what he thought and what everything, which we basically went over everything. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I really enjoyed this guy's review, and the way he ended it, basically, just saying.
I like the last sentence that he wrote.
Yeah.
It was just done.
Done. Yeah.
The end. Not even the end, just
done. Yeah. I mean, I was, hey, man, you wrote a lot.
He was like, I'm tired of typing, so done.
And I mean, I don't want to say this to like potentially get people's hopes too up, but I read it and y'all watching this, so whatever. Y'all's hopes are gonna be where mine is.
Yeah.
Mine are.
If you're fanboys and girls.
Yeah. So. I mean, it's Final Fantasy. What are you doing here? Actually, no, it's cool. Newcomers alike. Yeah. You should play.
One of us.
Yeah, right? You'll be one.
Join us. We have Totoro.
Yeah, right? So he seemed to think that this would be considered the game of the generation, and
not surpass 7, but
no,
right.
Whereas Witcher is currently considered the top of the top, cream de la creme as far as RPGs go. I mean, it seems like he just was like, best.
Yeah.
And I think he also said that it was his second favorite Final Fantasy.
Over 8 and 9 and everything. That kind of caught me off guard. But at the same time, I don't know.
It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, he seemed very well versed in Final Fantasy. So, I mean, and I think he made it clear that 7 was his favorite, which I mean,
like 5 times.
Most people, because I mean, that's probably the first. 8 was mine, so I mean, it is what it is.
8 was mine.
Yeah. So, I think that this game will either be divisive or dope, and I don't even want to say that because like I think that there's gonna be those haters that are just like, it's not turn based, oh my god, I'm so
either that or people who are like, it's not completely open world.
Yeah,
it could be two sides of newcomers who are like, this is not open world, blah 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 blah, I don't like it, who are not used to the JRPG type, Final Fantasy-esque gameplay, or the old-time fans, like you said, that's like, but there is that wait time, too, which he didn't talk about because he didn't use it, and we probably won't.
Yeah, I ain't using no wait. Ugh.
I do see where critics could come in, and I do see critiques I might have of the game as well. I really, really just hope the best because we need this.
Yeah.
Like, as Squeenix fans.
Squeenix.
Please make it good. Like, I'm counting on you because Kingdom Hearts is not coming for a very long time.
Yep.
And Nier looks good. Nier's by Squeenix.
Yeah.
Nier looks good, but it's not Final Fantasy or Kingdom Hearts, so get your shit together. Please. Right. I mean, I feel like the only complaint that I would have is the end because we've all seen, all of the extra trailers, the Omen trailer, and everybody's speculation on it. I just hope that they don't take the cheap way out.
Yeah.
And I hope that they, as Tabata said, it's a story that's going to bring us to tears and it's going to move us. And I haven't played a Final Fantasy like that in a good while.
Yeah.
So I'm counting on this to be that Final Fantasy. Yeah. That's my expectation. I want this to imprint me for life on how great it was, just like they used to.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't do that, that's the only thing I want from this game. Yeah. The combat is great so far from the demos and everything. The characters look amazing so far. I might have different critiques of it, but at the end of the day, I just want a great Final Fantasy worthy story. And if it doesn't deliver that, then I don't like the game.
Yeah,
that's all I want.
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to say this was the best one. I just want to say yo, man, this was
the story
6 and 7, 8. 8, 9, 10. That stretch that I wanted to be thrown in that lump
and then
in there.
15, just skip 13, 12. They're good, but they're not on level. And that's what I want.
Exactly.
So.
Yep. So
it's all on you.
Yeah.
No pressure.
So yeah. I mean, that's what we think about this guy's review that y'all will read. That's in the description down there and stuff. And y'all should comment.
Yeah. If you have a comment, question. If you want to say how dumb my new hair looks, you can comment below.
Yeah.
If you like his shirt, it's Dragon Ball Z meets Vincent Van Gogh. We call it DBZ Go.
DBZ Go? Do we?
It's now a thing.
Do we?
So yeah, give us a like button and we'll
subscribe. And this is Kanpai Hour? Oh, wait.
We don't have drinks.
Yeah, we do have drinks. I'll cut those.
Anyway, guys, thanks for coming, and we'll see you next time. Subscribe button below, comment, and like. And we'll see you next time on
Kanpai Hour!